Okay, for our audience at home, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your wonderful film.
Sure. My name is Llir Pristine. I'm from Toronto, Canada. This is my first feature film. I was the writer, director, producer on it. And Florrie is an 80-minute feature. It's a very, very intimate, small story about a 30-year-old girl who is dating three guys at the same time. Of course, the guys don't know. And her best friend keeps pushing her like, hey, you got to commit to one of these guys. So we just kind of follow this girl as we sort of learn about her past, her troubled past, and why she's using these guys to sort of cure her issues and things like this. So it's sort of a story of coming together, coming of age. It's also a friendship story with her and her best friend. You know, it's slow, it's moody, it's talky, and I think the emotional payoff, I think, is I'm really happy with it. And I think, I think people can get a lot out of it. I think women really, really respond well to this movie. So we just got distribution in America with Gravitas Ventures. So things are happening. I'm excited, and we're at the Lake Travis Film Festival, which I wish I was there, but the long story, I wish I was there.
Congratulations, Mazel Tov on the Gravitas Ventures, and I hope a lot of
Thank you.
audiences see it. So let's talk about the story. So where did the inspiration
Sure.
for the story come from? Because you have a pretty complex storyline, but it's happening every day around the world.
Right. I mean, the original, and Mr. Shapiro, cut me off. I can ramble. I won't be insulted. The original idea I had, because you're making a low budget film. I financed everything myself. I organized everything myself. So I said, okay, it's got to be small. So the first idea I had was the guy is dating three girls. So what happens there? Then a friend of mine called me on the phone. Her name is actually Florrie. And hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Catch up, catch up. And I got off the phone. I said, you know what? Let's make this a girl is dating three guys. And once I did that, it really just changed everything for me. Because then, I mean, there's not a lot of films that are dramas, anyways, that have a girl dating three guys. Usually there's some comedies, but not a lot of dramas, actually. American one, anyway. French, that's standard fare. And then once I did that, things just kind of opened up and gender issues opened up. And I kind of slightly touched on mental health issues. And there's, it's a film about grieving as well, too. And I got really lucky with the actress. Like, she's a godsend. And it just really grew. And, I tried to leave a little bit of magic and mystery in there, sort of with a subplot of, this guy leaving little carvings for this girl. And, like I was telling John, I didn't want to feed the audience. I just sort of wanted people to figure it out. I've had a bunch of screenings. People like, hold on, I don't get that connection. I don't get that connection. And you know what? If they don't get the connections or the sort of narrative little ties, then I'm totally okay with that. For me, it means, you know what? I've left some mystery in there. I want people to do a little bit of work when they're watching it, as opposed to being sort of spoon-fed the thing. I think it makes for a more gratifying experience.
The other character in your film is your location. So talk to me a little bit about your wonderful locations. The
Yes.
scene with the restaurant with the waterfall, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And even the simpleness of the apartment, of Florrie's apartment. So tell me about your locations.
Okay, cool. No problem. So I live in Toronto, and I live exactly in front of a place called High Park, which is basically the Central Park of Toronto, let's call it. So again, I mean, this is not a romantic answer, but I paid for every little bloody thing in this movie. So again, how can I make this film doable? So that's my apartment in the film. That park is literally a 20-second walk in front of my house. I had no insurance. I didn't get locations for anything. We just would literally shoot in the park and shoot in my house. We had we had that waterfall thing, which is in the business Wall Street of Toronto, let's call it. We got kicked out of that by the cops. Whatever, we got enough for the scene. And and what it really does, other than a simplifying production, it really gives the film, in my opinion, a sense of place. That you sort of see this girl's history throughout her own neighborhood as well. And you know what? Nature is always dressed for the camera, right? And Torontonians love it. And what I tried to do, maybe I fucked up a bit. I didn't want to make it come off like, oh, this is a Toronto film. It could have been Dallas, it could be St. Louis, it could be Montreal, it could be whatever. I mean, obviously they're speaking English, but and I think, I look at the photography I'm really happy with, and just some of the stuff in the park just really, really sings to me.
I
So
think all of your locations sing. I mean, and I think the lesson to other filmmakers is go with what you know, because it seems like
yeah,
in a lot of films that they go with what they don't know and it don't always work out. But with you, you went with what you knew. Went around your
100%.
surroundings and it worked out
Yeah,
perfectly.
it worked. Literally everything was in a 10-minute walk from my house without exaggeration, and it just, yeah, it worked. And just, it was, everybody just showed up at my apartment. Okay, we're shooting, and that's it. I mean, my house was a film set for 2 weeks, or 2 months. That was annoying, but whatever. It's better than paying 80 grand for locations, right? But it really gives, in my opinion, the film a personality, and it gives it, a character, right? And just, you know what, I like that end scene in the pond. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's pretty fucking awesome.
I thought that was really cool. Tell me,
Yeah,
this is something I've always wanted to know as a film fan and a film historian is tell me
sure.
about filming in a cemetery. No one wants their Aunt Betty's
Right.
grave in the film. So tell me how you set up that scene and how
So
you made
what
it yours.
Yeah. So what we did basically, I knew that we were going to shoot in the cemetery. That cemetery is like 10 minutes from my house. I have relatives buried in that cemetery. So the first thing I wanted to do, we needed a gravestone, but I didn't want any dates or any real names. So there's on the tombstone, it just says Lowens, and that's it. So we just shot there. And, Mr. Shapiro, honest to God, you shoot in a cemetery and it's just drama. Like, there's a fucking dead person there. This, Florrie goes there. Her Henrietta goes there, and then you put the connection together that it's the brother, and her Henrietta's brother was Florrie's ex-boyfriend or whatever. And I've actually since written a couple short scripts to shoot at cemetery. It's just rife with drama. You have to do very little. I felt really good about the dialogue and the scenes, and we just basically filmed them. Like, we just let the characters do their thing, the actors do their thing, and it's magic. And have you ever seen Last Tango in Paris?
Yeah.
There's the scene where Brando goes and he talks to his wife or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, of course it's Brando, obviously, but it's just drama. He's just sitting there, the dead wife is there, and it's just like, you're riveted. And it's just, I think I did a good job, but I think just the setup is just, you can't fuck it up too much.
I think you did an excellent job. I mean, it
Thanks.
felt really intimate, in that scene, and I could feel, the emotion coming from your characters. What did you learn about yourself professionally and personally while working on this project and while writing the story?
So I'll tell you, Dev, have you ever made a film?
No, I'm a film journalist and I do projections. So,
okay, cool. Do you want to make a film?
I don't know.
That's okay. I'll tell you what, anybody can make a film. This is the difference. Am I clever? Sure. Am I smart? Yeah, sure. The difference is you have to not, if you're afraid of looking stupid or that people are going to hate your film, you're fucked. My goal was like, we're making this film. I don't care if it's the biggest piece of shit on the planet. I'm going to finish it. And I think that's the difference. Me personally, from my experience, that's the difference of people making films and not making films. Like actors, oh, my face is the film. I'm worried about my rep. And that's great. And you're in the wrong fucking business. And I think I learned that even too, like I looked at my crew, I'm like, they're smarter than me. They have more experience than me, but they're not fearless. They're afraid. And and they knew that in me. They could see like, oh, this guy is stupid enough that he's going to go all the way. And that to me is the difference. And that's what I learned. And the other thing I learned, you're a journalist, you write for a living. Everybody has 20 pages of a script, but you don't have 80. And if you write a script, quality, of course you want quality, but if it's shit, you're still ahead of thousands of people. Because you got a script, can I swear, kiss my fucking ass, where's your script? Oh, you don't got one? Then we're shooting mine. So, I mean, no, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I think that's the reality. I mean, I think you do it and that's it. And let the cards fall where they may. Yeah, you're smarter than me. Your film's better than me. Okay, that's fine. Great. The world still turns, right?
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the biggest thing I learned. And it's like sticking to it. One quick question or one quick note. So our lead in this film was working on another lead. This kid, he was like 20 years old. He spent like 40 grand of his own money. He shot 22 days. He had to shoot one more day. He fucking gave out. I taught, I'm like, dude, you got to shoot one more fucking day, bro. All the stress. He's like, he just gave up. And that's the difference. Like, I talk to people, they put in 100 grand of their own money into a film. Hey, you don't finish it? That's vanity or cowardice, one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
One of the other things I really liked about your film was the black and white aspect. So talk to me a little bit about making this decision. We're going to make it in black and white. I felt like by doing your film in black and white, it made the story more romantic. It made me more connected to your people, to the character. So tell me about that decision.
Okay. So, okay, I'm glad you said that. Honestly, I love Manhattan, the film Manhattan by Woody Allen. So it's sort of two ideas, like Manhattan by Woody Allen and Francis Ha by Noah Baumbach, which came out, I think, 2012. I'm like, you know what? From the moment I started writing, I'm like, I want it to be black and white. It just seemed more romantic. I think it makes it more timeless. I think it's just more unique. I mean, that wasn't what I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? Any other 1,000 films are in color. Maybe this will stick out more because it's black and white. I mean, that was way, way in the back of my mind. And it just, for me, it makes sense for the story. And I was just telling John Wildman, so I just got a deal with Gravitas Ventures in America. So I'm really excited. Hopefully August 8th, I think, is the release date. Don't hold me to that. And they said, listen, we like your film. It's got to be in color. We will take it, but not in black and white. So I had to, shut up. I went back to the editing thing and we went back to the footage and did it all again in color. And I've had tons of producers in Canada and America, they're like, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you make this in black and white? And I didn't realize it was such a death knell to make it in black and white.
I
have no idea.
I don't think it is. And I think
I don't think it is either.
Because I think that the palette of the American moviegoer and the American movie buff has changed because of Netflix and the internet and how accessible movies are to us now. People are more exposed to black and white and subtitles and the no-nos of filming in North America, and I think, with everything that's in color, people enjoy that, and it does add to the story.
So. I think it adds to the story. So in Canada, there's a channel here that's going to take it. I'm going to release it in black and white. I haven't told them there's a color one. I don't want to tell them just in case they want that one. But to me, black and white, it's just, and I really feel strongly we did a great job with the photography. Like, I'm thrilled. I love black and white. I think it makes it more timeless. I think in 50 years, it's still going to feel modern. I think like Fast and the Furious in 20 years. I don't know. Like, is it going to feel modern? I
totally agree with you. And I think, I think the movie buyers and the bookers these days, they don't understand the palette of the North American moviegoer because, like I said, we're so exposed to black and white now through services and Blu-rays and the internet. Lastly, I know you need to go, but lastly, what are the websites?
No, I'm in no rush. Go ahead.
Social handles for your website, because we want to support this and follow your journey.
You know what? I am literally just redoing all of them. I know, don't get me started. I write too much. I should be on the internet more often. I'm redoing all of them. Like, over the next week, I will email you them and get them to you. Yes, I'm embarrassed. I make films instead of diddling on the internet. I'm an idiot. I know.
I think that's the best way to close it up. Thank you so much for taking the time out and talking with us.
Mazel tov. Thanks, Mr. Shapiro.
Thank you so much.